This conference will now be recorded.
Good afternoon and welcome to the Clear Lines training session. I'm your host, Kipp Cohen. It is Thursday, May 16th, 2019. I am here for the next 60 minutes to cover the Clear Lines indicator running on the Medved Trader platform. If you have any specific questions for me, you are welcome to send those through now to the GoToMeeting player. This session is recorded and will be posted later today to the Equity-Alerts YouTube page. You can get to that by going to equity-alerts.com, clicking on the top where it says YouTube, and that will take you to our videos where they are posted. Got quite a few. Should have each video has a little description as to what is covered in the session. This is a twice weekly training session, Tuesdays and Thursdays, 3 o'clock Eastern. If you are unable to attend, but you have a question on one of our future sessions and you want to be able to watch it later, you can always submit those to me by email, kip@equity-alerts.com. Just place a note in there of what your question is for which session, and I will be happy to answer it for you. You're also welcome to send me questions at off topic or on topic or whatever to my email, and you're also welcome to text me, 972-841-8886 if you have a question. Andrew in the house. Good to see you here, buddy. Good to have you with us. So, already have a question in from Alan wanting to know how to put in a bracket trade. How to put in a bracket trade. So that's one of the great benefits to utilizing the Medved Trader platform, is that the platform does allow you to trade directly through it. If you are utilizing one of the integrated brokers, the brokers that are currently integrated with Medved include Ally Invest for MB Trading, which would be the old MB account. E-Trade, if you trade futures, Gain Capital Futures. Interactive Brokers, if you're in Canada, Quest Trade is integrated. Rhythmic, Robinhood, TD Ameritrade, and Tradier are all integrated, along with a handful. Oops. Oh, don't need to put your camera on there, Ben. No need to go on camera. There we go. No webcam sharing. Anyway, so any of those accounts do integrate into Medved, and so what Alan wanted to see is how to place a bracket order. I'm going to switch my layout to my popper dropper layout, and depending on your broker will determine whether or not you have the ability to place a bracket trade. Some brokers allow it, some don't. So when you're logged into your account, so each account is going to have different permissions based on what order types are allowed, okay? So some accounts will allow bracket orders, some won't. I know E-Trade does not permit bracket orders. So if you do have an integrated E-Trade account, you will not be able to place a bracket order. So I'm just going to pick we'll pick Iova here as a stock for Alan. So I'm just going to put in a short. So that would be a market sell, enter, and that puts us in the trade. Once you're in the trade, then you can select bracket, and you can do that from the window that you entered the trade in, or if you use a secondary window like me, you can do it from the secondary window. So what I do is on my 1 minute, I have my entry by market. On my 3 minute, I have my stops. And then depending on how you have your screen set up, you can either go to trading and click the buy button, or you can right click and click the buy button, or if you have a buy button on your quick access toolbar, you can just click that. Let's go this way. Let's click the buy. That's going to place the capsule, the trade capsule, on your chart, and your mouse. Hold on a second. So let me do that again. Okay, so as I move my mouse around, it's going to jump up and down until I click the mouse. Once I click the mouse, it's going to lock it in for the first side of the trade. So if I want to do the stop first, you'll notice it says loss 260. So depending on where I set this will determine how much my loss is going to be. So if I set it up here at, let's say 1541, I see that it's a $260 loss. And then I hold down my mouse button, my left button, and then I slide the mouse down to wherever I think it's going to target. So if I think it's going to target here at the Fibonacci resistance 1, I let off, and then that puts in a limit at 1466, which would give me a $490 profit. Now that's just part of the process. The next step is I need to select the check box. That's going to send the order to my broker. Once I've checked that, then the order will be routed to the broker. And depending if you have it set for a confirmation or not, you may or may not get a trade confirmation. I don't have that set because it just slows down the trade. So now I have my bracket order set. From that point, I can always adjust the order. I can double click on the price, and I can move up the limit or the stop. I can move those up or down, and then click the check, and then make sure I send the modified order. So you can modify orders on pretty much like on the fly, or I can grab one or the other side of the bracket, and I can scroll that bracket up and down and modify it that way. You still have to check click the M button to modify the order. But what's great about that is it lets you make those changes very quickly to send that back to your broker. So that's pretty much how to do it, Alan. Do you have any additional questions about the bracket, or does that answer it? It's funny, Club Intro. Okay. And if you ever need to see me do that again, don't hesitate. And I know you trade Forex, so I believe you trade Forex. So like if you have an account with Interactive Brokers, or you have a demo account because you want to practice, I can show you that one as well. I think it'll let me do a bracket with IB. So let me test this out real quick. Oops. All right, let's let this load up. Okay, once the trader workstation's open, then I can go back to my charts. And what I can do is let's say on this account, this window, I want to trade out of the interactive. So I want to unlink and then select interactive brokers, trading, unlinked. Whoops. Interactive brokers. So now these two windows are tied to IB, and then I can go put in, let's go pound euro.USD. And then I, of course, need to backfill the data when doing Forex. I don't know if you're utilizing IB or not, Alan, but so let's say I wanted to buy the euro dollar down here. Market buy, whoops, hold on, buy, fills the order. Hey, Benny, if you could do me a favor, please do not unmute your microphone. Please leave it muted. If you have a question, you can type it in, but please leave your mic muted. For some reason, you keep unmuting your mic. All right, next, to place my bracket, I select bracket, and then this would be a sell since I'm long. And I can scroll down wherever I want to set my stop loss. So let's say I'm risking $25 to make why won't it let me go higher? That's weird. It's not letting me go higher. So hold on. Let me place that. There we go. Now I can move my limit up for some reason. So I can move my limit wherever I want it, modify it. And that's the process of setting it for a Forex trade. Ann says, Kipp, the green bar to the right of the numbers, is that volume momentum? So you're talking about this bar right here that changes from green to red? This is the they call it the pressure, and it's I believe it is the volume pressure. Hold on a second. Let me give you the exact. I want to make sure I'm answering this correctly. The pressure is shown in the right of the chart as a vertical bar. It shows how many of the last 30 trades went off at the bid versus the ask. If more went off at the bid, that shows selling pressure and the bar would be red. If more at the ask, it would be green. The size of the bar depends on the relative difference between the buying and selling. So think of it as buying and selling momentum. Buying and selling momentum is what it is. And you can turn that on or off. There's basically under view options, you can either turn that on or off. There's also one that It's a pace. That's a volume pace. And the exact measurement for that is, hold on. Pace, like candle countdown, it shows up as a small box on the chart that can be moved, dragged anywhere on the chart. With what it shows is the pace of trading. You can set pace parameters by right-clicking on the box. The value of pace is shown is the total trading volume for the last period compared to an average volume for such a period in the last averaging period. Values over 100% mean greater than average trading pace. So you like that's 316. And you can right-click and you can adjust if you want that for all data, for the last day, last hour, certain days back, and how many periods. I leave it as is. Again, these are some great features of the Medved Trader platform. So now that IOVA is moving in our favor, so you can grab with the mouse the upper line of the bracket, the stop side of the bracket, okay? Put your mouse over it till you get those the line with the two arrows. And then I can just scroll it down. If I want to move it to break even, it shows me my gain would be 0 right now. And then again, once you do that, you still have to modify the order. So now my bracket's moved down to break even. And then this is how you can basically trail a trade. As it moves into profit, you can also move your limit down. If you see that it's starting to pick up some steam and you don't, maybe you see, oh, well, I think it's going to go to Fibonacci resistance 1. So let's move our limit down to there. You can begin to adjust it and then just manually trail your stop behind it. And in essence, create a trailing bracket is what you're doing, is following that trade down. Subsequently, you can do that with your Forex trade. You can move your order up. Oops, for some reason it's not letting me. Hold on, I may have to reset that order. Bracket, sell. So if I want, let's say I want to put the stop just below that low, and then I can move it up to support 1. There. So there's our new bracket. Oops. Each broker acts a little bit differently, and for whatever reason, I think IB acts a little bit differently. And then, of course, if you just want to get out, you can flatten the trade, and the orders are all canceled. So Andrew wants to know what is moving right now. I don't know. You tell me, buddy. Amazon? Is Amazon moving? Oh, so I wanted to show Andrew some of my charts because I was talking to him about Amazon earlier. He likes to trade options on Amazon. So typically what I do, Andrew, is I go to the 15-minute time frame, and then I draw my Fibonacci extensions off of that first 15-minute candle from the top of it to the bottom if it's moving upwards. And then I go to my 3-minute time frame, and then let me show the current day, so you see all of today's data. And you'll notice, so basically this was the first 15-minute high, and that was the breakout point, okay? It broke out of the first 15-minute high and ran from basically 1904 all the way to 1917, which was just below the 1618 of the first 15-minute. See that? So that fib level, that 1618, pretty much became the top. And then it rolled down, and interestingly, it bounced off. This would be the bottom of the Bollinger, which was right at the 127. So that became the support level. And then it bounces up, hits the top. I'm sorry, that was the, yeah. Comes up and hits the top of the band right here, reverses back to the bottom of the band, and then it stalls out right at the center line and the 14140. That's that institutional Fibonacci level. And that was, if you remember earlier, I was talking about that was holding up as support for a while when you were in that trade, and then it broke it. This became support, and then once it broke this 127, that's pretty much when Amazon kind of fizzed out. And then look where it bounced. It bounced off the 100 line initially. That's the first 15-minute high. Bounced up. This is the volume weighted average price, the VWAP, kind of hugged it up, hugged it a little bit, dipped down to the D-mark high, which is one of the levels I use, the D-mark pivot, which was right here, and then bounced back over off of the center line of Bollinger's, down almost to the 786, back up to VWAP, down to the Bollinger, to the top of the band, and back to the 127 level from earlier, where it reversed, and then it just bounced right off the bottom of the band and the D mark. So these are some levels some indicators you might want to use. It really will be helpful when trading with Amazon. So on a 3-minute, and I'll share with you guys the, hold on a second. This is what I use for my layouts when I trade on a half-minute / 1 minute in the morning. And this is obviously on the Medved platform. I use the current day data, and then my indicators are clear lines, volume, pivot points on the daily, parabolic stop and reverse, D-mark pivot, and Fibonacci pivots. The big one is the 3-minute. I use for extended hours always, so I'm getting all the pre and post market data, clear lines, volume, daily pivots, volume weighted average price, D-mark pivot, Fibonacci, and then Bollinger bands. And then my 515, I use never for the extended hours, only current trading day. And then I just use my clear lines, volume, daily pivots, and volume weighted average price. So these are all the indicators that I use, and I've just added in just more for testing purposes, slow stochastic on the 1 minute. And instead of putting it below the chart, I'm putting it on my chart so I can just see it. But one of our traders, Troy, he's been using a slow stochastic with the clear lines and is very happy with it. But what it does is when you use all of those indicators together, along with my clear lines, it really paints a good picture. Okay, let's see if we got other questions. All right, so as far as, is there anything moving right now? Let's see, what is moving? Your Amazon's bouncing. Apple is has rolled over. It's pushing towards the lows of the day. Let's see, Baba, Facebook, Goog, Netflix. Hey, you're welcome, Andrew. Always great to have you with us, too. Man, not seeing a whole lot at the moment. Oh, does NVIDIA have earnings? Yeah. Let's see. Yep, NVIDIA. All right, that's good to know. NVIDIA reporting earnings. And that is the same Andrew from Toronto that used to be under his desk. That is correct. That is under the desk, Andrew. See, Andrew, everybody remembers you for that. They remember you for being under your desk or with your ironing board in the background from home. He says I should have been under my desk earlier. I was just busted. I just got a new ironing board cover delivered by Amazon. That's funny. That's very funny. Looks like NetEase is on the run. Wow, what's up with CRC? Something's going on with CRC. Must have been some news a little while ago. That thing just shot up. Looks like a couple of points. Might want to watch CRC here for a short. Anybody have any news on this thing? Ann says that's wild. How do you use those fibs as on the Amazon chart? I draw the first 15-minute extension, and it typically paints a pretty good picture. But what works better? Look at that, Amazon just took a dive. It works better with combination of the Bollinger Bands and then the Fibonacci pivots, the DMARC pivots, and the daily pivots. The grouping together work very well. Pins just shot up. When you pulled up NVIDIA, I saw it looks like it has earnings today as well. I wonder if there's some news that I'm missing on California resources. California bill that would cut oil and gas drilling will not pass this year. That must have been why it jumped. And it's starting to roll over. So here, let's put a short in. We got a 1 minute and a 3 minute that actually already rolled over a little while ago. We're actually right on resistance 4 right now. I like that the VWAP is down around the 21.5 level. Kind of do a little risk a dime for 40, 50 cents. If it continues to sell off into the close. Andrew says I just took a flyer on Penn's June options 32 strike for 235. I assume you calls. Yes. I guess is this a recent IPO because there's no history. Oh, Pinterest. Yeah, there's a recent IPO. Yeah, so it's really hard to, you're just kind of shot in the dark, I guess. Um, what other questions can I answer? Any specific questions? Hey, Vanjie, good to have you with us. Got a little over 20 minutes to go in this session. If there's anything you guys would like for me to cover, please let me know. Any specific questions? What are the stochastic numbers? I'm just using the preset stochastics 14 and 7. I have not made any adjustments to that. Strictly whatever the preset. And that's the slow stochastic. Interestingly, you'll notice, let me point out, my arrows tend to line up pretty close. So here was a red down arrow right here. And look, that stochastic switched directions, went from green to red. This was a continuation. We got one here, but the stochastic was a little delayed. And then look right here. Here was a green up on pins, and then it followed by a green bounce, green bounce, green bounce, green bounce. And look at that. That stochastic was pretty much green lined up the whole way. So there is some wow, look at pins running. Nice trade, Andrew. That thing just ripped. But that's a pretty nice lineup. And then we had also the parabolic stop and reverse switch directions after we got the red line on the 1 minute. So all these indicators tend to work well together that we're utilizing. All right, so currently we are up 6 cents on CRC. It's kind of creeping in our direction. I was hoping we'd see a little bit of an end of day sell-off here. And then if I wanted to, I can scroll my stop down basically to break even. So now the stop's at break even. Now it's starting to pick up a little momentum. Man, that was a really nice move on pins. Ann says options cannot be traded on the Medved chart. Actually, options can be, but what you have to do is just right click and go to option chain, and that'll open up this window right here. And then you can just pick the option that you want. So let's say we wanted to go with this call right here. And I can right click and then put trade. And then that'll open up a trade ticket, and I can pick however many contracts. I can do market or limit, and then I can buy to open right here. Yes, so you can trade from the chart. You can trade options. Now it won't, because I don't have the permissions, it won't let me view the option chart. So you know how some options you can actually view a chart for the option. This will not let me view it, but I can definitely trade from here. Yeah. Again, it's dependent upon your broker. So this is through Ally MB Trading is who that is linked to. Andrew says, Andrew's back, baby. Pins blew up. Can I get a whoop, whoop, whoop? All right, so let's move our stop down on CRC. We're going to protect a nickel, 5 cents. So it shows me right here, gain 50. That's what tells me if I get stopped out how much I should make, give or take a couple of pennies. And then if it breaks below 22, then we might see a little bit of a acceleration downwards. Yeah, so and you can trade stocks, options, Forex, futures, and Bitcoins, all from the charts. As long as you have an account with one of the brokers that integrates or gives you the permissions. Yeah, like if I wanted to go back to, let's say, Interactive Brokers, okay, and I wanted to view I don't know if I probably won't be able to pull this up. I'm not sure if it'll let me through. Whoops. Okay, that didn't work for some reason. Yeah, I don't think IB is going to let me do that. And now it looks like it. Looks like I'm blocked out for some reason now. Darn it. I may have to restart. Well, something happened. I'll do it the old-fashioned way. Just end the task. Okay. Now I can see the S&P. I wonder if it'll let me trade.
Order cancelled.
I guess not. Oh well. All right, and it looks like we got taken out of our CRC trade with our nickel. But at least you can watch the charts through Medved, and then if you have a broker that you trade futures with, you can trade directly through that platform, unless it's one of the integrated brokers that allows it. What other questions can I answer? We just got a few minutes to go. Anything else today, guys? Don't be shy. Benny, any questions from you? Vanjie? Nope. All right. Looks like we're getting a little bit of end of the day sell-off here. A little bit of profit taking going into the close. Dow's definitely come down off of the highs of the day. No other questions? So if you are interested in learning more about clear lines on the Medved platform, you are welcome to go to equity-alerts.com and then click on the Clear Lines tab. There's additional information here. If you want to subscribe, the cost of Clear Lines is $59 per month. If you have an Ally Invest or Ally Invest MB trading account, if not, it's an additional $19.99 a month platform fee that's paid separately to Medved Trader. And as long as you have an account with either Ally Invest, TD Ameritrade, E-Trade, or Interactive Brokers, you won't need third-party data. Those brokers will power the software. If you have Fidelity or Schwab, you would be required to purchase data from a third-party data source like Stockwatch. Okay, and that's an additional about $25 a month. So at minimum, $59 a month. At maximum, roughly another $45 a month. So could be a little over $100 a month. My recommendation is if you are interested, now Medved does give 30 days free for their platform. The first 30 days access is free. If you are interested, you may want to consider, if you don't have an account with TD Ameritrade, if you open an account with them, you don't have to put a lot in there, and that will at least give you the data to power the software. You would still have to pay for Medved's fee for $19.99 a month, but again, that's it at least saves you to having to subscribe to a third-party data source, and that's for those that have either Schwab or Fidelity or one of the other non-integrated brokers. We also bundle, we have a bundle price if you're interested in our equity alerts. That is $129 bundled, the alerts with the clear lines. And with your subscription to the clear lines, one of the things I do for my customers, if you feel you need assistance getting set up your first time, I will log in remotely to your computer with you on the phone. I'll help you set up do the install and help build a custom layout for you based on your needs. And then we'll do a little tutorial, kind of go through and do some training. I typically will spend about an hour on the phone with my new customers that do request that kind of help. And then I provide ongoing support. If you need assistance in the future, I have some customers that they want to install on a secondary computer and they need help with that. There's actually, thankfully, Medved allows you to export and back up the settings and layouts, and then you can copy that file over once you've exported to another computer, and then import it, and then all your settings are there. The only thing is you end up having to do is set up your layout again. You're based on you may have to adjust the window sizing based on your screen resolution. That's the only thing you may have to redo, but you know, that's part of what my monthly fee is it's to provide you with ongoing customer support, as well as I provide these twice weekly training sessions, and I'm available for you. I want to help you, make sure you understand how to use the platform and you're successful with it. So if you have questions about clear lines or about Medved or even about equity-alerts, you can email me at kip@equity-alerts.com. You're welcome to call me at 972-841-8886 or text me at that number. If for some reason I don't answer, it might be because I'm on a call or on a training session. All I ask is please just leave me a message and I will get back to you. If you leave me a message, I'll get back to you. But anyway, that's pretty much it. Again, I want to thank you guys for tuning in today. And just remind you again, twice weekly, 3 o'clock Eastern, Tuesdays and Thursdays. And the session is recorded. Will be posted later this afternoon to my YouTube page at equity-alerts.com. You guys have a great afternoon, and I will see you all. Some of you I'll see you in the morning, and hopefully some of you will be back next Tuesday. Have a great afternoon. See you later. Bye-bye.